Hello and welcome to the Dark Wolf's Den Show, your home for the paranormal, politics, and much, much more, exclusively on Censored Freedom Network. Now, here is your host, Jerry the Dark Wolf Hicks.
Thank you so much, Roger. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, I am Jerry Hicks, also known as the Dark Wolf, and I really appreciate having all of you guys here with us tonight. Again, another day, another video. That's right, we've got a lot to talk about, folks, as always. And of course, we're going to start off, as we always try to do, with politics. That's right. So what's going on in the world of politics? Nowadays, it's not hard to find a good news story. And today was no different. Do you guys remember the Hunter Biden laptop? Who couldn't remember that, right? So the Hunter Biden laptop was said by 51 Intel officials to be Russian propaganda. Well, it turns out those Intel officials were absolutely lying. Surprise, surprise, Intel officials lying to people. Anybody who's been in the amount of research that I've been in knows that that's what intelligence officials do for fun, is lie to people. A matter of fact, I'm not convinced any of them really know how to tell the truth anymore, but Trump has revoked the security clearances of all 51 of them. That's right, folks. Accountability is being had, and I'm happy to see it for one. So they no longer have the top secret, or any kind of security clearance in the government. They might as well go ahead and retire and find themselves a good fast food job flipping burgers and shaking fries, because that's about all they're good for anymore. Maybe then they can learn how truth-telling works. I doubt it. Another big story of the day, ladies and gentlemen, House Speaker Mike Johnson announces a new panel to uncover the truth behind J6. Now this, I gotta admit, I am very, very excited about. Because we all know that J6 was not the Republicans. It was not the MAGA crowd. Yeah, there were probably a couple MAGA people in there, but the J6 that became what it was not MAGA. As a matter of fact, MAGA was trying to stop what was going on. Well, this new panel will reportedly have the authority to scrutinize FBI officials, another group of people who don't know how to tell the truth, and really try to cover their tracks at every corner. So Mike Johnson is actually getting things done, ladies and gentlemen. I'm liking to hear this. Hopefully they'll do it right. Pick the right amount of Republicans and Democrats and really allow this to go through the right way. Not the way the Democrats did it, where they just hand-selected the ones that would be get Trumpers. No, I want a real unbiased, open group. Now, unbiased may be a bit much to ask for, I understand. But I want a group of people that is going to work together to find the truth, regardless of what the truth may be. Although we all know what the truth is, it needs to be made up correctly according to the rules of Congress so that it can stand as a legitimate board or panel. And the evidence collected therein needs to be shown to the public on the regular. It does not need to be done behind closed doors like the Democrats tried to do and then tell you that this, that, and the other is happening when it's really not. So I am really happy to see Speaker Mike Johnson announce a brand new panel to uncover the actual truth behind what really happened on J6 and how much government involvement really occurred to try to, and I quote, get Trump. Speaking of Trump one more time, the TikTok ban, right? This has been up and down and really weird. So if you go into the terms of service, my friend My Life DIY actually showed this. If you go into the terms of service, ladies and gentlemen, on the TikTok app, you can now see the Facebook permissions. That's right, Facebook permissions within the TikTok terms of service. So I don't know what that means. That's a little bit weird to me. Did they sell to Meta? Is Meta really got a hidden hand within this company now? I would be very careful over on TikTok, guys. If you are on TikTok, especially to be anti-Meta or anti-Facebook, you might be in a bit of trouble right now, as it seems that they may be one and the same. Now, perhaps, let's go to the other side of the spectrum. Perhaps they just added the feature to sign in from Facebook or to sign in from Apple or wherever else, the sign-ins are that they didn't have before. So you need to, okay those terms of service because you're using that to sign into the app. I know it's a stretch. I don't know. Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe not. But Trump has outlined plans for the sale of TikTok. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. As a matter of fact, I think I've got a little audio clip here from Trump.
Well, let me do this first.
Are you open to Elon on TikTok? Are you open to Elon on TikTok?
I would be if you wanted to buy it.
Have you discussed it with Larry Ellison?
I'd like Larry to buy it too. I have the right to make
Ask
a deal.
Larry Ellison.
So the deal I'm thinking about, Larry, let's negotiate in front of the media. The deal, I think, is this, and I've met with owners of TikTok, the big owners. It's worthless if it doesn't get a permit. It's not like, oh, you can take the U.S. The whole thing is worthless. With a permit, it's worth like $1 trillion. So what I'm thinking about saying to somebody is buy it and give half to the United States of America, half, and we'll give you the permit. And they'll have a great partner, the United States. And they'll have something that's actually more valuable because they have the ultimate partner, and the United States will make it very worthwhile for them in terms of the permits and everything else. But so think of it, you have an asset that has no value or has $1 trillion value. It all depends on whether or not the United States gives the permit. So what I'm saying is let the United States give the permit, and the United States should get half. Sounds reasonable. What do you think?
Sounds like a good deal to me, Mr. President. You can afford it, too.
I mean, $500 billion, if that's the case, that's a lot of money. He's a businessman. Hopefully he knows what he's doing here. I wouldn't mind seeing something like that if it's American-owned or at least half-owned. We covered the other night, I highly doubt it's about data anymore. I think this is more about control. So, again, be very, very careful, ladies and gentlemen, because if America owns it, they're also going to be able to dictate it. Now, Trump apparently signed an executive order that makes it, as if it wasn't already, but makes it absolutely illegal and unavailable to have the government actually going to these companies and doing censorship on Americans. Let's hope that this gets stood by as an executive order because, it's written in the Constitution to this point and still yet it happens. So let's hope that Trump fixes this and that doesn't become the case. But I don't know about you guys. I'm always a little wary when the government has a hand in absolutely anything. And I tried to make a video earlier for over here on fan base, and it doesn't look like it's actually allowing me to upload the video here, having a little bit of an issue. So we'll just go ahead and talk about what I was going to talk about on there, and that is Project Stargate, ladies and gentlemen. Project Stargate. So I know a lot of you think you know what this is, but you probably don't. I don't know. It's in the news lately. Maybe you know what I'm talking about. But in 1977, there was a project by the U.S. Army to try to find out if psychic phenomena could be used in a military fashion. I believe you guys may remember the movie The Men Who Stare at Goats. This was actually about that project, if I'm not mistaken. However, it apparently was shut down in 1995 and was concluded by the CIA, of all people, that it was not really something that worked. Now, I don't believe the CIA for half a second. I'm pretty sure most of you guys don't either. And the CIA said that they gave up the program, which means they put it even deeper into dark levels. And interestingly enough, we heard about this program again the other day with the egg UFO on News Nation. But we'll get to that here in a moment. But Project Stargate is now the new project, ladies and gentlemen. Trump announced today a new Project Stargate. That's right, $500 billion to AI in this country. $500 billion for AI. Now, I don't know about you, but that seems a little weird. And here's the real kicker. So we know that AI is going to be using quantum computers. It's not blatantly said, but I mean, ladies and gentlemen, we're not stupid, right? We know that quantum computers is going to be what they use to build the most functional AI. They would have to get the most functionality out of it. At least in my way of thinking. Perhaps I'm wrong, perhaps I'm not. But we also know that the Willow chip was given a math problem that supposedly would have taken a regular computer longer to figure out than the age of the universe as we speak. As a matter of fact, very much longer than the age of the universe as we speak, according to science anyway. So they said that the Willow chip was actually using parallel dimensions to do its job. Now, this is interesting because right after that, we have Project Stargate, which is investing a very large amount into AI. And if anything or anyone is going to be able to figure out how to use the parallel dimensions to our utmost advantage and perhaps even travel within them eventually, it's going to be an AI. Is that what the government's doing, ladies and gentlemen? Are they trying to build an AI to traverse parallel dimensions? I know that's a radical, wild claim. Maybe I'm completely wrong. It's speculation. It's only speculation, but it's speculation based on what we've seen so far under this same project name. Now, maybe it's just reusing the project. Maybe it's putting it out there so people will do the research and see what Stargate used to be. But I just have this funny feeling that they're connected. And we know that there's been a lot of crazy UFO stuff coming out lately. I reported yesterday on the egg, and of course it's all over YouTube. Not the first egg on News Nation. No, ladies and gentlemen, the Antarctica egg found in a mountain range in Antarctica. Interestingly enough, it's near where in 2022 also, the same year that this was supposedly found, the egg, that there was a release of data from a Fitbit type company. It wasn't Fitbit, it was a Fitbit type company. I want to be clear on that. That released the data that showing, basically an underground base in Antarctica because it was tracking soldiers' Fitbit data as they wore them in the space. So it really all kind of starts to add up after a while to suggest that perhaps there's some truth behind it. But here's where my question comes in for tonight. The question I have tonight is, are there two factions that are fighting over disclosure? That's right. And of course, I forgot to put it up. We've moved into the paranormal realm at this point, folks, the paranormal realm. As a matter of fact, we've also kind of dived into the conspiracy side of things. So the question again on the table, are there two factions going on? So we know that the like people like Lou Elizondo and Jake, I can't remember his last name, that released the egg footage. Forgive me, I can't remember that. And a variety of other whistleblowers have been making the spotlight lately, including a guy named Jason Sands, who we'll probably talk about him tomorrow. I've been putting that discussion off for a few days now, but ladies and gentlemen, it seems to me that there are two factions. There's a faction that's out here trying to give us very little to next to nothing in the way of information is what I'm trying to say. For instance, Lou Elizondo. I really had high hopes for this guy, but every time he speaks, it gets a little more weird and a little less informative, right? The man has not come out and really said anything. He's given us the 5 things to look for, which as ufologists, we knew those already. Right? So I don't really trust Lou Elizondo, and I trust him a little less every single day. Then we have also, I had another one on the tip of my tongue before I get to him, Stephen Greer. I like Stephen Greer. I really like Stephen Greer. The problem is, he again hasn't really said a lot of anything. He'll come out and say stuff, but it's not really informative. Now, he is got a lot of whistleblowers coming to him. And again, I'm not sure about the quality of the whistleblowers that are coming to him. Again, Jason Sands, we'll discuss him tomorrow. If you don't know who that is, look into this. This guy is supposed to be a whistleblower, but he said some things that are more than questionable. And then we've got Jeremy Corbell. Now, I liked Jeremy Corbell. Corbell is the guy that got Bob Lazar to come out of hiding and do another interview 2 decades after the man just stopped doing interviews altogether. George Knapp trusts Jeremy Corbell. So I trusted Jeremy for a while, until recently. Recently, an audio clip came out that had Jeremy talking about the government is going to tell you there's an alien invasion coming by 2027 and it's all a lie. Then why would you say it? And then said, well, if I say the date, they can change it, or they're going to change it because I said it. Then why would you say it? Why would you even take the chance to put it out there? Well, we got to tell the people. Well, you're also telling the bad guys. And if the bad guys are going to change it, then why put it out to begin with? Maybe be a bit more cryptic about it. Maybe something else, you know. Maybe drop it over on 4chan where it can be anonymously you. Use your words, Jerry. But it seems to me that there's that group, Corbell and Greer and Elizondo, and this whole group that is very, very well funded and very sanctioned by the government. Now, if it's sanctioned by the government, folks, I do not trust it. Period. Well, what about when the government releases their information? When they release the information, I'll look at it. If it's sanctioned release or sanctioned leaks and whistleblowers, I have problems with that. Now, again, we got an egg the other day in the sanctioned release, but we also got an egg over on 4chan in what seems to be a private release, which again leads me to believe there are two factions, because when you have anything like a private release over on 4chan, you suddenly have a group of people that pile in and do their best to pretend to be the person posting, to discredit it, to make it look absolutely ridiculous, or get to the point that people won't even stay within the thread. And over on 4chan, I've seen a really, really good version of that yesterday. Now, could it be all bunk? Sure. It could absolutely be. Until we have a good enough pile of evidence, we can't say anything's for real. But we can say that it looks like that there's two factions fighting over disclosure. One that wants real disclosure, and one that wants to keep us chasing our tails in circles like the government has done for the most of my life in ufology. And could this be their new way to screw us up, to give us bad information and make it public information where everyone believes it, and you're crazy then? Ironically enough, you're the conspiracy theorist if you don't believe the public knowledge, right? You're weird, you're out there, you're crazy, you don't know what you're talking about if you don't go along with the narrative. What a good way, once again, to infiltrate ufology, or to stop the truth from coming out, or to just muddy the waters enough where people will just stop caring. Is that what's going on? I don't know. It seems to me that's the case, though. But I want to know what you guys think. Let me know down below in the comment section. Guys, make sure you check us out across all the platforms. We're over on Fanbase. We're over on YouTube, unfortunately, and we're over on Rumble. Also, we do post on X, but we cannot post a video over there because they're pay to play, and we refuse to pay to play. So make sure you check us out on all the other platforms, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, we are a part of the Censor Freedom Network. That's right. Make sure you check out Censored Freedom every Sunday night over on X, Censored Freedom. That's right. Make sure you go over there and like that show too. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I want to know what you guys think about Project Stargate, whether this is really a new project for something more than AI, like I feel it is. Or, ladies and gentlemen, also let me know if you think that there are two groups working against each other in disclosure. With that said, my name is Jerry Hicks, also known as the Dark Wolf, and this has been another episode of the Dark Wolf's Den Show. Until tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, deuces.